Tonight, President Obama is taking the blame and ordering changes after an internal review of mistakes in the U.S. intelligence relating to that Christmas Day terror plot. The president and his advisors focused on what they see as the need for a new strategy against what's proving to be a very nimble adversary in al-Qaeda. Take a listen.
It is clear that al-Qaeda increasingly seeks to recruit individuals without known terrorist affiliations, not just in the Middle East, but in Africa and other places, to do their bidding. That's why I've directed my national security team to develop a strategy that addresses the unique challenges posed by lone recruits. And that's why we must communicate clearly to Muslims around the world that al-Qaeda offers nothing except a bankrupt vision of misery and death.
We're going to go through those just released findings more now with former Director of National Intelligence John Negroponte and Middle Eastern Studies Professor Fawaz Georgia is joining us as well. And Ambassador, I just wanted to ask you, you had said earlier today that you thought this may have been part of a larger plot that could still be unfolding. Explain what you mean by that. And if that's the case, what do we need to be doing to stop it?
Yeah, what I was referring to was back in 1994. There was an incident on an airplane flying out of the Philippines where a bomb went off, and it turned out to be the precursor of a much larger plot to blow up 11 airliners over the Pacific in early 1995, a plot that ended up being successfully foiled. That was called the Bojinka plot. So it just occurred to me that one of the hypotheses that needs to be looked at here is this part of a larger plot? Is this just the first step in something broader? But clearly that's the kind of thing that in the interrogation of this individual and in the analysis of the intelligence, people are going to be looking into.
One of the things the president said, you just heard in that soundbite, he talked a little bit about it, the challenge of dealing with this lone terrorist attacker, seemingly lone terrorist attacker, depending on what we may learn in the future. But it sort of seems like a new front or a different way of fighting this. We're not in the hills of Afghanistan going after members of al-Qaeda as we have been previously. It's now this kind of potential threat. How do you address that differently?
You know, Campbell, the ability of al-Qaeda to carry out multiple spectacular attacks along the 9/11 lines appears to have undermined greatly. Al-Qaeda has suffered major military setbacks. American security measures are much stronger than before 9/11. So Al-Qaeda can no longer send 19 bombers or suicide bombers. So what you have now, you have Al-Qaeda traveling ideology. Al-Qaeda traveling ideology that resonates with some politically radicalized individual like Umar.
But that can be just as deadly.
Absolutely. And not only it's deadly, it's very difficult to deal with this particular type, this particular trend that's taking place. One particular politically radicalized individual who basically, this particular traveling ideology of Al-Qaeda resonates, he gets radicalized, he goes to Yemen, Pakistan, Afghanistan, he meets with radical clerics, he gets training, ideological guidance, he gets bombs, arms, and he tries to infiltrate the American.
And this isn't a one-off. I mean, we're seeing this repeatedly. Yes. Ambassador, how do you think you address this? I mean, given this appears to be the new threat.
No, I think the president's right. We've got to find ways to deal with that, and it is more difficult. But on the other hand, the incidents are not on the scale, as the professor was suggesting, of 9/11. One thing I would point out is they seem to continue and have been interested in a long, long time in blowing up airliners. That seems to be one of their main objectives in life, and they keep trying. So I wouldn't be surprised if they try that again, and we got to be on the lookout for that.
You know, Campbell, the president said we need to appeal to Muslims worldwide. I mean, think, militants in the last 10 years have used social networks to recruit, to mobilize. Here you have the father of the Christmas Day bomber, Umar Abdul Muttalib, going to the American embassy. I would argue, Campbell, as the president said, the Muslim community could serve as the first line of defense against this particular type of lone bombers. Here you have a father and other incidents. We have other incidents where the Muslim communities, where the relatives, the neighbors
is already playing that role.
And this is why, in a way, you really need to turn the table on the militants. And as the president says, two major points. He said we must really make sure, we must really reach out to Muslims, and also make sure we do not undermine America's open society. If we undermine American open society, Al-Qaeda wins. And those are two critical points.
Fawaz, appreciate your time tonight. Thank you. Ambassador, also good to see you as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.